When we discuss depth, we are referring to the most intricate layers of humanity, including the pain endured, the quiet growth dreams that simmer, and the wisdom distilled. Have you ever pondered whether the deepest aspects of your soul require external expression? Today, I want to explore with you an essential yet difficult art, the art of protecting the sacred space within us. This space is not just a place that holds memories and emotions, but also a source of strength that helps us remain steadfast in an ever-changing world. Over time, these experiences transcend beyond a quick conversation or a quick social media post. They are stories and lessons that only you can truly understand, and it is this uniqueness that sets each of us up today. I'll share 7 teachings from Stoic philosophy with you, explaining why it's best to keep too much about ourselves private. Stoic philosophy reminds us that sometimes sharing all of this with others is not only unneeded, but can also undermine the inner freedom and tranquility we cherish. Finding your basic values is the first step in living a life that is free, robust, and genuinely meaningful. Let's explore this together. Ideals in a society that consistently demands transparency and exposes Stoic philosophy serve as a reminder of the immense power of safeguarding a piece of ourselves. Privacy is an act of self-respect, intentionality in behavior, and a conscious decision to identify and protect our core values in order to cultivate an inner world free from outside influences. In a modern society where social media and continual connectedness are the norm, we respect the process of personal development and shield what is delicate from hasty judgment. We don't need to share or reveal every aspect of ourselves. People often equate openness with authenticity, but true authenticity involves discerning what is worthy of sharing and what should remain private. By securing a portion of our lives for ourselves, we establish a safe haven where our thoughts, dreams, and values can flourish unhindered. Marcus Aurelius wisely asserted that maintaining the beauty of your soul, or being a decent human being, is entirely within your own power. Safeguarding our inner world signifies our self-respect and self-worth. Recognizing that our thoughts and emotions hold value and don't always require public scrutiny. There is undeniable strength in silence and restraint. By curbing excessive sharing, we protect the vulnerable parts of ourselves, those that are still growing and taking shape. Imagine a young sapling in its early stages of life. It needs shelter from strong winds and scorching sunlight until its roots are strong enough to withstand the harsh environment. Similarly, our ideas, aspirations, and vulnerabilities need time and care before they are ready to face the world confidently. Sharing too soon can expose us to unnecessary judgment, which may hinder growth or undermine our self-confidence. On the other hand, silence is a sign of wisdom and latent strength rather than weakness. It shows the capacity to hold back until the appropriate time to ensure that what we reveal is durable and real. Consider this situation. Over dinner, a close group of friends enthusiastically shares ideas for professional changes while also discussing personal objectives. You may have new interests or ambitious projects in mind, but you've decided not to share the novel you've been working on in your spare time because it's still a delicate idea that requires careful nurturing. A well-meaning friend might ask, "Why don't you share your project?" We could offer feedback while their intentions are good. By deciding not to reveal, you preserve the integrity of your project and prevent early comments from influencing or distorting your creative process, raising doubts, or changing your original vision. Give yourself permission to grow it independently of other people. Growth is a very personal and intimate process. By identifying and holding on to our basic principles, we give them the room they need to develop undisturbed. Sharing everything of value doesn't necessarily make it meaningful. Keeping a dream private doesn't diminish its value. Instead, it quietly fortifies, forming in the shadows before stepping into the light. Think of your private aspirations as seeds planted in fertile soil that require time, care, and protection to grow into their full potential. If you share them too soon, you run the risk of attracting unwelcome opinions or criticism that could undermine your confidence. Social media heightens this vulnerability. Social media creates an environment that accepts and even promotes excessive sharing, but the Stoic philosophy advises us to disregard peer pressure and focus on our inner peace and personal values. Upholding our privacy enables us to establish limits that protect our mental and emotional health, and is an act of autonomy and self-control. Staying unaffected by other influences is not a sign of loneliness, but rather a sign of empowerment and a deliberate decision to prioritize one's own development over others' approval. Before a tale, wound, or hope is ready for sharing, it must mature and heal. By safeguarding our inner selves, we respect the organic cycle of development. When someone is dealing with personal loss, this patience shows that significant transformation and advancement cannot be hastened. We ultimately have the freedom to decide what to reveal and what to keep private. Understanding that privacy does not imply a lack of connection, but rather lays the groundwork for deeper, more authentic relationships. Sharing too soon before they've truly processed their emotions may leave them open to misunderstanding or unhelpful advice. They can share their story with clarity and purpose when they wait until they're ready to articulate it. The beauty of the soul, as Marcus Aurelius once said, lies not in display, but in quiet strength. By honoring our inner world, we build a foundation of resilience, clarity, and self-respect, with a core value that no external force can take away. Adopting the Stoic principle of self-restraint shapes our intentional life, guiding us with core values and maintaining inner peace. Through silence and restraint, we find liberation. Alignment is important. Reduce the number 2. As Marcus Aurelius once stated, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Sometimes the greatest strength lies not in letting the world understand you, but in protecting the most precious aspects of your life from curious eyes and invisible pressures. This underscores the significance of alignment. Privacy is not a barrier isolating you from the world, but rather a manifestation of self-love and respect in a world that appears to share and expose everything. Keeping some aspects of your life private is a method to respect your individuality rather than avoidance. Travel fulfillment comes from deeply appreciating the things you choose to keep rather than from shaming everything. This practice not only fosters self-respect, but also helps you discover who you really are. Why reveal your innermost thoughts to others in an attempt to gain understanding when you are the one who knows yourself the best? A safe space is a unique location where you can unwind and re-establish a connection with yourself without any disruptions. It could be a quiet area of your house, a peaceful area of the outdoors, or just an imperceptible mental barrier. A safe space serves as both a haven and a place to process inner conflicts, nurture your emotions, and replenish your vitality. Following the overwhelming success of his first book, Sal abruptly withdrew from the public eye and chose to live a solitary life in a small house in Cornish, New Hampshire, where he could fully devote himself to writing and distance himself from the intrusions of the media. J.D. Salinger, the famous author of The Catcher in the Rye, is a symbol of discretion and respect for personal privacy. For many years, Salinger avoided public gatherings, declined interviews, and even stopped publishing new works. This was not an act of avoidance, rather, It was a means of defending his inner peace and creative freedom from the demands of fame. In that peaceful setting, he not only wrote thought-provoking stories, but also rediscovered himself by searching deep within for genuine inspiration. Salinger's decision to lead an introspective life enabled him to develop into a distinctive author with a timeless influence. In addition to his writings, he left behind a priceless lesson about the value of privacy and quiet. A safe area helps you prevent burnout from outside pressures while preserving tranquility and inner balance by enabling you to contemplate, explore your feelings, and take care of the aspects of yourself that require mending. Additionally, this area provides a source of regenerated strength, which is a skill that the Stoic philosophy views as essential to attaining enduring serenity. The first step in creating healthy boundaries is learning to say no. We don't set these limits to exclude people, but rather to protect your equilibrium and mental health. Refusing to engage in activities that drain your energy not only helps you protect yourself, but also reaffirms your personal beliefs. The Stoics assert that maintaining dignity and self-worth in a chaotic world necessitates inner control, which one can attain in a secure environment where one can remove social masks, reconnect with your true values, and release yourself from expectations. As Epictetus once stated, "First, imagine what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Acknowledging and embracing your true self is the cornerstone of creating a harmonious life. When you learn to forgive yourself and stop being too critical of yourself, you'll discover that growth doesn't always follow a straight path. This is the time to face yourself, listen to your dreams, and nurture your authentic self. Once you realize how crucial it is to keep a safe place and establish boundaries, you can let yourself feel at ease and realize that your own value comes from how you view yourself, not how other people see you. Learning to say no with strength and confidence is the next stage. The part that follows will discuss the art of respectful but firm refusal, and how to say no without upsetting people while maintaining your morals and dignity. The secret to leading a purposeful and joyful life is to preserve inner calm under all circumstances. By combining silence and a Stoic mindset, you will learn how to do this. The third step is to approach the situation with confidence. Silence is more than just a pause. Having the confidence to say no. When we learn to say no with confidence, silence becomes a strong instrument that molds our emotions, protects our dignity, and creates personal boundaries. It is also the most powerful expression of self-respect in speech. Stoicism, a philosophy that prioritizes tranquility and self-control, serves as a reminder that we are valuable without external approval. Silence allows us the time to reflect and respond with intention, which is how we develop patience, one of the fundamental virtues of Stoic philosophy. Refusing a request or an opinion can cause tension or conflict, but quick responses frequently result in regret over rash statements or rash decisions. When everyone is trying to impress at a crucial meeting by sharing a lot of ideas at once, one person listens intently, stays silent, and speaks only when it truly matters. Their silence not only amplifies what they say, but also conveys confidence and calm. One of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett, once said that his secret to success was knowing when to say no and when to say yes. Over the course of his career, Buffett has rejected numerous significant deals because they did not fit with his strategies or values. Buffett once received an investment proposal from a respectable partner who made every effort to convince him. Rather than responding right away or flatly rejecting it, Buffett waited and carefully considered his response before deciding to say no. Buffett's response, while succinct and powerful, did not align with my approach. It not only showed confidence, but also unequivocally reaffirmed his personal boundaries and values. Buffett is an example of how Stoic philosophy's principles of stillness and careful consideration can allow us to decline with dignity and authority. Silence is not just a fleeting response. Rather, it is a conscious mental state in which we make room for self-awareness and self-discovery. By choosing silence, we escape the cacophony of thoughts, opinions, and expectations from the outside world. We listen to our inner voice, which reveals aspirations, hopes, and fundamental values often overlooked in the midst of this cacophony. Silence in a hectic life is not a sign of weakness, but rather a means of quietly facing ourselves. When we dare to face our inner conflicts, concerns, and social pressures with the potent stillness of silence, we have the chance to understand more clearly what really matters to us. Living a meaningful life based on genuine and timeless principles is only possible when we take the time to discover the truth within ourselves. This is done through silence, which also frees us from approval. In today's world, there is constant temptation to prove ourselves in relationships and on social media, but by choosing to remain silent, we declare that our value is independent of other people's opinions. Have you ever tried saying no without providing an explanation or used silence to deal with a difficult situation? This cultivates a quiet confidence and inner strength that remains unbreakable. Tell us about your experiences in the comments section below. Your viewpoint is important to us. How can silence change the way you handle difficulties and boost your confidence? I'm interested in hearing your opinions and anecdotes, since they will deepen our comprehension of the application of Stoic philosophy to daily life. Number 4. Developing resilience. Using values to build resilience. Have you ever felt a profound sense of unease when you were forced to act against your principles to please others or avoid conflict? The silent voice. The noise of society's demands frequently drowns out the advice to stay true to yourself. It is in these tense situations that Stoic philosophy shines, directing us to develop resilience via unwavering adherence to our own ideals. True stillness, as promoted by Stoic philosophers, is an act of courage. It is the deliberate decision to look inward, calm the turmoil, and concentrate on what really counts. Many people misinterpret stillness as passivity or even weakness. This quality shows up as resilience. By practicing stillness, we make room to assess our feelings and responses and make sure they are in line with our inner values rather than outside influences. Being able to maintain composure under pressure is a significant statement of self-respect as well as self-control. Values are the compass of our lives. They define our purpose, direct our decisions, and mold our relationships. Integrity fosters a sense of wholeness and satisfaction that defies external validation, yet the path to genuineness often faces challenges. Examine the life of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust and wrote the classic. The brutal concentration camps where Frankl lived appeared to have completely destroyed human values. He endured unspeakable pain, freezing temperatures, constant starvation, and the loss of loved ones, yet even in this darkness, he found a greater purpose. Frankl maintained his dignity by concentrating on the deep purpose of life despite suffering, refusing to let the cruelty of his captors define him. While others gave in to the pressures of life, he decided to think about the sanctity of life, remembering his wife with unbridled love, seeing their reunion, and even finding purpose in the suffering he went through. Frankl's dedication to fundamental principles, his belief in love, decency, and the meaning of life, led him to become a living testament of how people can overcome hardship with willpower and faith, while values provide clarity. Society often challenges our commitment to these values. Peer and family pressure, or a fear of visibility, may lead us to compromise. Over time, these compromises erode our sense of self, leaving us disconnected and dissatisfied. For example, a young employee may feel pressured to work overtime continuously, ignoring the value of work-life balance to meet the demands of their superiors, even though this may bring temporary recognition. Even small concessions, like laughing at an inappropriate joke to fit in, can cause inner conflict. Burnout and anger result from putting one's own health last. We must first identify the values that genuinely resonate with us, which necessitates self-awareness and asking ourselves what the values and beliefs that truly align with us are. Recognizing and opposing these influences needs not only clarity, but also the bravery to live authentically. What values are most important to you, and which ones are you unwilling to compromise on? This understanding serves as the cornerstone of Epicurean resilience. Another Stoic philosopher highlighted the significance of understanding oneself, first stating what one would be, and then carrying out one's obligations. Our values help us make difficult decisions that are consistent with them. When it comes to living our principles, saying no is one of the best ways to reject and reaffirm our beliefs. Refusing to accept pointless obligations, harmful relationships, or inappropriate circumstances helps us maintain our integrity and vitality. The Stoic philosophy teaches that resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but rather facing them with clarity and courage. Every small act of integrity builds the foundation for a meaningful life. As you reflect on your life, ask yourself if your daily choices are driven by external expectations or if they are in line with your core values. Adhering to your values may not always be simple. It might necessitate relinquishing opportunities, relationships, or even standing by yourself. But the benefits of authenticity surpass any potential losses. Remember the words of Seneca, "He who is bold is courageous." You can develop the resilience to meet life's obstacles with grace and power by finding your principles and remaining committed to them. Realistic alignment techniques. The fifth useful technique for alignment in a society fixated on looks and approval is the Stoic philosophy, which serves as a powerful reminder that our worth is not based on what other people think. It takes bravery to strike a balance between our true selves and our public personas. With self-awareness and a dedication to authenticity, let's examine doable tactics to strike this balance while accepting quiet and self-control in the face of outside demands. The Stoics recognized an eternal truth. Other people's viewpoints are a reflection of their worldview, not of your reality. It never ceases to astonish me that Marcus Aurelius wrote it. Understanding that the prejudices and fears of others shape external opinions helps us understand that these opinions cannot define who we are or what we are capable of. By adopting this mindset, you can break free from the never-ending cycle of seeking validation. Living for approval frequently results in betraying oneself. Consider a talented artist, for example, giving up bold creative ideas to produce safe works to appease critics. We all love ourselves more than others, but we cherish their opinions more. We place ourselves in undesigned cages when we strive to please others, and our fear of rejection becomes a prison that ensnares our deepest desires. A student may choose a job path that their parents want, even if it stifles their passion. Finding balance necessitates overcoming this fear, embracing boldness, and allowing creativity to flourish. Now picture the freedom of not needing anyone's approval. Breaking free from others' expectations allows you to discover your true purpose. This doesn't mean ignoring constructive criticism, but rather learning to discern between your internal compass and external noise. Confidence increases as you have faith in your skills and inherent value, much like a tree standing tall. Opposing the wind. By firmly establishing your self-belief, you will develop resilience. When you live your life in accordance with your principles, you attract people and opportunities that complement who you really are. This makes your life less of a show and more of a journey back to yourself. Imagine someone who loves the outdoors but hides this passion to fit into a corporate setting. The day they embrace their love of nature, perhaps by beginning a sustainable project or just getting back into outdoor hobbies, their life becomes vibrant and meaningful. Silence allows us to pause in a noisy, hyper-connected world, eliminating the need for validation as you attract what truly belongs to you. Imagine a social situation where someone tries to criticize you. Instead of reacting, you pause, look at them, and smile calmly. Silence conveys strength and self-control, rendering the critic powerless. Reflect and reshape when you remove yourself from the cacophony of opinions. Beyond times of conflict, quiet can also be a space for personal development in the calm times of meditation or travel. Jing allows you to connect with your innermost thoughts and find answers to problems that seemed insurmountable in the midst of the chaos. For instance, in your daily life, you enjoy going for morning runs, but your friends frequently make fun of you for getting up early. Instead of apologizing or trying to win their approval, you keep up your habit in silence, and eventually they notice the advantages you experience in terms of energy, discipline, and happiness. Some might even seek your counsel. Your unspoken constancy motivates stronger than words could ever express. The Stoic lifestyle encourages us to leave the platform of public opinion and pursue our own fulfillment. As Epictetus once remarked, don't explain your philosophy. Instead, embody it by leading a life that is consistent with your ideals. Do what seems right to you, even if it doesn't match others' expectations. You'll discover unwavering joy, purpose, and tranquility. What do you think about the value of authenticity and quiet in navigating life in the busy world of today? Have you ever had the experience that being true to yourself yielded unanticipated benefits? Tell us about your experience with the Stoic philosophy in the comments below. The sixth hurdle to staying: the difficulties of maintaining alignment. Maintaining a private sanctuary and a calm inner space in a world full of noise and scrutiny is no simple task. As Marcus Aurelius once said, nowhere you can go is more peaceful or free of interruptions than your own soul. Preserving this personal space not only creates an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, but also to engage with others from a place of wholeness and independence. You enter the world not seeking approval, but sharing your true values. This is not about isolating oneself or avoiding society. Rather, it is about focusing on oneself, recharging, and nurturing profound goals. For example, a personal sanctuary is like a tranquil island in the middle of a stormy ocean where you can view yourself with authenticity, free from outside distractions. This frequently causes people to lose sight of their true story, turning them into characters in someone else's script. It becomes a place where you can explore bold, even unrealistic ideas without fear of judgment. But it is challenging to maintain this space in a world where people are constantly curious and judgmental. Living to gain approval is like chaining yourself to standards set by others. A classic example is the life of writer Franz Kafka, despite his extraordinary talent. Kafka faced relentless pressure from his family to become a lawyer. These expectations nearly stifled his creative spirit. Only in private moments, away from prying eyes, could Kafka craft profound works that conveyed the loneliness and helplessness he felt in society. This underscores that only in personal space can we truly live in alignment with our values. Approval from others, though sweet, provides only fleeting satisfaction. When you live to please everyone, you'll always need fresh affirmations to feel worthy. but self-acceptance, knowing who you are and appreciating that value, is the only thing that can fill the internal void and offer lasting meaning. One vivid example is Elon Musk. Despite facing criticism from colleagues, experts, and even the public when he first pursued Tesla and SpaceX, Musk persisted in his vision. He did not let negative opinions deter him because he believed in the value of his work. As a result, ideas once dismissed as crazy are now transforming the world. Musk exemplifies how living true to your personal values can help you rise above judgment and achieve the extraordinary living for others. When you depend on external validation for your sense of value, it leaves you vulnerable to criticism and undermines your own foundation. Any praise or criticism has the power to influence you. Imagine someone standing in front of a crowd, calm and composed, unaffected by criticism. They know their worth and don't need to argue. This is the strongest expression of self-respect and emotional control. It is the inner strength that Stoic philosophy promotes. In the process, you risk losing your inner equilibrium. Maintaining your ideals is a difficult journey that calls for facing internal obstacles and letting go of temporary recognition. But once you realize your own value, you won't seek acceptance from others. Let's move on to the last section, where we examine how Stoic philosophy can assist you in discovering and establishing your true values so you can live a meaningful life. Number 7. Understanding values. What happens when you live in accordance with your deepest values, and how can you find them in a chaotic world? Think of yourself as someone who understands values. Beneath the surface of a vast, limitless ocean lies a treasure. Not everyone has the bravery or aptitude to go deeply and examine these treasures, despite the fact that they are all as valuable as rare pearls. Some find the vastness of the water awe-inspiring, while others merely observe the surface, akin to the ocean's confusing waves. Withdraw without really comprehending. This is the essence of personal depth, an invisible yet priceless trait that defines who you are. Only those who truly value it should appreciate this unique gift, which is not meant for everyone to see. Not everyone is able to understand another person's depth. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus famously remarked, "You are a little soul carrying around a corpse." This poignant phrase serves as a reminder that our true selves frequently lay beyond outward appearances. Attempting to convey to others the depths of your inner worlds, experiences and values is like giving a brightly colored map to someone who can only see in black and white. Although they may hold and look at it, they will not appreciate its beauty. For example, Tesla's Nikola, the brilliant inventor and trailblazer. Although many of his peers did not acknowledge Tesla's grandeur, he was a man of considerable depth and foresight. Tesla decided to live mostly alone, not because he was cold or distant, but rather because he recognized that not everyone could appreciate his profundity, and that those who were unable to see past their own boundaries frequently ignored his revolutionary ideas by upholding his principles and following his course. Tesla's legacy continues to inspire millions of people. When you put too much effort into trying to make other people understand you, you run the risk of undervaluing yourself. Only those who approach it patiently and with respect can reveal your inner depth, which is not a performance nor a problem to solve. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect. It declares that your values and experiences are worth protecting. By doing this, you create a space where you can live freely without the need for validation or understanding from everyone. You also have the authority to choose who has access to your inner world. People often view the world not as it is, but as they are. This does not mean that you should hide yourself or live in isolation. Rather, it means being selective and sharing your true self with only those who are worthy, in the same way that a museum protects its most valuable artifacts behind glass. Consider a reliable friend who loves the aspects of you that people frequently overlook, listens without passing judgment, tries to understand without requiring explanations, and the ultimate power of Stoicism is mastering your emotions and reactions. When you stop looking for outside validation, you break free from the chains of judgment and expectation. You stand firm in your truth, confident that your value does not depend on how many people understand you. These people deserve your depth because they approach your ocean with humility and admiration, learning and growing from their discoveries. The judgments of those who don't perceive your value no longer influence you. Instead, you stand firm like a beacon in a storm, guiding those who genuinely need it while defending yourself so that you can live with this self-assurance and inner strength. Begin by putting the following guidelines into practice. Protect your depth. First, treat your values and experiences like treasures, and then share them sparingly. Secondly, clearly define your boundaries. Third, decide what you can and cannot accept in relationships. Accept solitude and use quiet times to think and develop, rather than constantly looking for approval from others. Lastly, cultivate connections based on trust. In a world where everyone tries to prove themselves through words, silence is not just a simple action, but also a powerful expression of self-respect and self-control. Lessons from Stoic philosophy have shown that we don't always need to explain, express, or let others know everything about ourselves. What matters is knowing when to remain silent to protect the peace of our minds. Therefore, surround yourself with people who truly appreciate your depth. Keep in mind that only the wise man is content with what is his. All foolishness, and that is perfectly okay. How do you feel about silence's power? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section so that we can continue our conversation about this subject. Also, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any more motivational Stoic philosophy lessons. We appreciate your time and interest and invite you to suggest topics for future videos.